Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Keith, which is the founder of Keith Ellis. So Keith, tell us, what are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs should be doing out there to make the first million?
Okay, the first step is obvious. They should listen to your show.
Amazing. I love this step. Thank you.
I guess I have a sort of a different approach to this. So my focus is on helping entrepreneurs achieve impossible goals. Wow. So there's some steps involved in that, but if you'll humor me a second, let me just sort of tell you how I got to this place. And there's another piece here too that we probably ought to do up front. I have a new book coming out. It's coming out next month.
Wow.
In November, and the title of the book is called 10X Superpower.
Wow.
But the subtitle is what says it all. Subtitle is How to Make the Impossible Easy. And the book is really it's a culmination of really my life's work. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there that when I figured it out or learned it from someone else, much of it I learned from other people, it blew me away. So I put 10 breakthroughs into this book. And here's the wrinkle that's a little bit weird, and I want to be upfront with your audience about this. The book cost $10,000.
Wow! I love it.
It's the first book in history that I know of that somebody's charging $10,000 up front for. Now,
depends on the value of the information, because
but that's exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. We've all had books that are worth way more than $10,000. We just didn't pay that for them. Maybe we got it from a library or a friend or bought it on the internet for $10 or whatever. This is something different. This is so valuable. I figured, you know what? I'm going to charge what it's worth. I'm going to put that up front.
Absolutely.
And then I started thinking about that. I said, in the coaching business, what a lot of coaches do, because I'm what I call a superpower coach. In fact, I'm the #1 superpower coach in the world. And
wow.
I teach this superpower called the 10X Superpower. That's what the book's about. And most people in the coaching business will give you some content up front and then try to sell you an expensive coaching program on the back end. Nothing wrong with that. That's a perfectly valid business model. I decided to turn that on its head. And I said, look, this book is worth so much, charge $10,000 for it. And I said, but is the book enough? No, what they really need is a coaching program. But you're already charging $10,000 for the book. So I said, okay, I'm going to turn everything on its head. I'm going to give you the coaching program for free. So the book comes with what I call my 10X Superpower Gold Mine coaching program. And it includes a bunch, one-on-one coaching with me and group coaching and all kinds of cool things, workshops and everything, but it's included for free. And I do that because we've all read books where we thought, this is really interesting. I'll just put this over here and I'll get the next book. And you read that book and you say, oh, this is great. I'll just put this over here and I'll get the next book. And making something useful come alive in your life often takes a partner, someone to help you be accountable. So what I'm doing and what I'm offering for free is the ability to say, look, I want to bring this to life in your life. And here's how you do it. And you've already paid for it. You don't have to take advantage of it if you don't want to, but man, it'll change everything if you do. So that's a very long-winded intro to this idea, but I like being upfront with people because of the nature of this unusual book. But back to the first $1 million question. First thing again is listen to your show and other shows like it. That's the first step. The other steps are, the simple step is to set goals, obviously, but everybody knows that. That's conventional wisdom. I wrote a book years ago called Magic Lamp: Goal Setting for People Who Hate Setting Goals. And I wrote it because I hated to set goals. And then it occurred to me that if you start thinking about goals like making your wishes come true, you sort of juice it up. You add some excitement to it. And I created this process called the LAMP process. And I put it in a book. The book was very successful, translated into a bunch of languages, sold around the world. It was great. Very successful. But I realized after using my own advice eating my own dog food for several years and being successful, that I was incrementally successful. So I would grow my business by 20 or 30% a year, which is great. And then I do it the next year. Wonderful. And over time, there was real growth there. There was the first million there. It happened, right? But I also realized that I wanted more than that in life. I wanted extraordinary. I wanted exponential growth. And I didn't know how to do that. I was frustrated. And I'm a success junkie. I've spent my life studying the geniuses behind success motivation philosophy, from Socrates to Tony Robbins to Dan Sullivan to James Clear to all kinds of people. Okay. And I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but I couldn't figure this one out. So I dove back into my research and went to more seminars and did more research and called up people I knew and peppered them with questions, successful people, ask them how they did this, how they did that. And what I came up with was this: what I'd been missing was a certain type of question that is so powerful, it changes your life on the spot. It's at the heart of everybody's success philosophy. They don't necessarily talk about it per se. They just give you questions and they ask you questions. And these things were so powerful to me in my life, I started calling them magic questions. And I actually got a trademark, a registered trademark for magic questions in the United States because this is the heart of what I teach people. And so I wrote a book about it, of course. And the book is called Magic Questions, but the tagline, the subtitle says it all: how to transform your life at the speed of thought. And when you start using these questions, that's what you can actually make happen. So that was successful. That was great. But there was still something missing. It's like, wait a minute. I've got these goals, this goal setting model that's wonderful. I've got these questions that are wonderful. What's missing? And then I realized what's missing is that I'd been selling myself short my whole life. We all do this. Well, I was brought up. I don't know about you, Harry.
I've done it also. So I agree 100% with you there.
You know the drill then. I was brought up thinking, okay, I want to set realistic goals, realistic with air quotes around it. I don't want to set a goal too big because I don't want to be disappointed. I still hear my family and my friends telling me this stuff, right? And it's like, after a while, I realized that's a bunch of crap. What we need to do is set bigger goals, because bigger goals are actually easier than smaller goals. And this blows people's mind. This is something that I think entrepreneurs probably get at some emotional level that the rest of the world doesn't. But what I focused on was what I call 10X goals that are 10 times where you are now. And that's a huge leap for most people. I mean, I could have focused on 100 or 1,000 or something, but that's too much. It's hard to wrap your brain around it. But a 10X goal for most people is something they can understand, but they probably don't think it's impossible. Or I'm sorry, they don't think it's possible. They think it's impossible. And that's good, because what I teach people is how to make the impossible possible. and then easy, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what this is about. So I took my original goal setting model, rewrote it for this impossible idea, sprinkled in magic questions throughout, and came up with this whole new system that's called the 10X Superpower Breakthrough. So that's a long-winded answer to a very simple question. How did you get your first $1 million?
Yeah, and I think, Keith, that let's start with something that what you start with. I think is really powerful. I actually congratulate you and applaud you to sell your book for $10,000. I'll tell you why. Because this is your life knowledge and your life experience. Only you in this world can teach this. Nobody else. Nobody can copy this book. Nobody can teach this. The only person that can teach this process is you, because it's based in your own life and in your own journey. But also, look, when my first business was in real estate, we managed to sell over 5 million. And I remember that when somebody wanted to rent a room, I said, do you want it? say, well, if you're serious about you leave some deposit, yeah. They say, well, I like the room, but I'm coming back, and well, when you're serious about something, you put money down, yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. When somebody put $10,000 for your book, they're gonna take the book seriously.
That's
And
right.
probably this is what they need in order to turn the life around, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you are putting a price point that is actually doing a favor for whoever is gonna buy it, because
yes.
that price we make the person to absorb, digest, and give value to the value that this information have. And of course, you're giving a plus for free, which is your support and your coaching things as a support. But they already have a backbone of a great information. And let me tell you something. Talking about the 10x, yeah. I talk a lot with small business owners, and when I talk, I say, well, we're gonna 10x this business. Most of the people tell you this is impossible. Yeah, this is
Exactly.
I mean, some people come back and they look, this doesn't have any logic. 2 times, 3 times, 1 time, this is logic. You're exaggerating. Some and this is common knowledge. This is what people actually will tell you. But the truth is, you really can't. I've done it. I've done it with our business. That that even we sell the product 1 year for 97, the other year is 10 times more. The other year, you know what I mean. So I've done it several times. So it's actually possible. So what do you think, Keith? Or which message do you have for entrepreneurs out there that think that this is too good to be true? This is not even possible. And you just have, like, the other thing that you said, it was very important about goals, and people setting up low goals. Sometimes I do the workshop and I ask the people openly, how much money you want to make a month? And the people said 5,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'm like, guys, I'm just asking you. You can say 100,000 if you want.
Right.
You can say a million. I'm just asking you. I'm not even telling you to open a business. I'm just asking you, how much money would you like to make every month?
Yeah.
And from the general public, I always receive like those low numbers. And it comes to about this self-esteem that we all have, that that we think is very small, and this affect our capacity to see big. So number one, what message do you have to the people to the naysayers, people that said this is too good to be true, this is not possible, and how can we encourage people to actually to set bigger goals? Because the good thing about bigger goals, if you don't achieve them, even if you get half, you're already 5 times what you know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head, and the price. Interesting enough, the price has sort of become a test for people.
I love it.
When I tell them the price, if they go, that's crazy, I realize what I'm offering you is a chance to make the impossible easy, and it's not worth $10,000 to you. Guess what? This book isn't worth anything to you at any price. You're just not there. Your brain wouldn't wrap around it.
You don't understand the concept. It's
exactly. But if somebody says $10,000 to make the impossible easy, I'm worth that. It's an investment. It's like what your guy said that in the previous podcast that you've posted, Philip J. Chan. He said, you've got to think big. You've got to think about this. You've got to commit to it, and you've got to think in terms of investing instead of expense. Right? If you're investing, you're good to go. So, the advice I would give people is it's an old saying. This is not my saying, but I love the saying, and you touched on it a second ago. Life will give you whatever you ask. Life will pay you whatever price you ask. So ask a bigger price. And most people don't learn that. They don't understand that. Life will pay you whatever you ask. Just ask what you want. So one of the things that happens when you start thinking in terms of 10x goals, like what you tell your clients, what you counsel your clients, um, your brain starts focusing in a way you've never focused before. Now, most of us are inundated with noise. And from an engineering point of view, there's signal and there's noise. We can't tell the signal from the noise, so we get lost in the noise. If you commit to a 10x goal, to an impossible goal, something you actually believe you cannot do, it's impossible. If you commit to that, you say, I'm going to do it anyway. Suddenly your brain goes, oh, okay. And it starts trying to figure this out. Now, before,
you see the new opportunity.
exactly, before your brain was going, no, we can't do this. So we'll just buy, blinders on. We're done. But when you commit to it, your brain says, okay, blinders, go away. Now we start focusing on this thing. And all the noise that's around you goes away because you're focused entirely on signal. It's like the 80-20 rule thing. 80-20, 80% of your activity produces 20% of your results, 20% of your activity produces 80% of your results. Everybody knows this. But how do you tell which is which? How do you tell the 80% and the 20%? And the answer is you focus on an impossible goal. And then all that's left is the 20%. All that's left is that stuff, that juice that's going to get you where you want to go. It's an incredible transformation, and it can happen in a heartbeat once you commit to this impossible goal. So once you do that, first thing you do is ask yourself, because this is the way it works. Okay, I've committed to this thing. It's impossible. How do I make it possible? And that's the wrong question. We all ask how. What we should be asking is who. Who can help us make it possible? One of the pieces of wisdom you talk about in your various podcasts is your net worth is your network, right? Mm-hmm. This expands to the whole world, really. Who can give you a capability that you don't have? Who can you collaborate with to gain a new capability? So you say, well, this person over here can help me do this. This person can help me do this. This person can help me do this. Now, guess what? The guy you were before you started this process said, this is impossible. I'm not capable of doing it. And you've just added a bunch of capabilities. Guess what? Now you're capable. The way to achieve an impossible goal is to first you commit to it, and then you start figuring out who can help you get there. And there's several other things. The book is organized into 10 breakthroughs, but those are the first 2 breakthroughs, and they will change your life on the spot.
And then, Keith, let's talk about price, because I think that there is a lot of misconception about price out there between entrepreneurs, because people, we just started business, and this is the first thing that everybody is thinking. Okay, you know what? If Pedro is selling this product for 6, I'm gonna sell it for 5, and right. Because it's cheaper, everybody's gonna come and buy from me, which is a totally really wrong approach. Because at the end of the day, look the clothes that you're wearing, look the TV that you have behind your screen, that I thought that was an original painting, right? Then the TV, that's how high is the quality. Look, I don't know, the cars that everybody drives. Is everybody driving the cheapest car? Is everybody buying the cheapest TV? Is everybody having the cheapest clothes? At the end of the day, none of us, 85%, more than 80% of the worldwide population don't buy on price.
Right.
They buy on value. I know that because, I take my girlfriend sometimes, she goes to Oxford Street to buy dresses. I go with her. I don't like to go inside the stores, but I watch her buying behavior and what she's doing. She's also an international speaker, and she's a book publisher. So she will be very happy to know that your book is 10,000. Lily, my girlfriend, is gonna love this. When I tell her the story. Anyway, but she goes and buy the dresses, and I'm observing her buying behavior. And she goes, she see one dress, she touches it, then she goes and see another one, and then another one. I'm just walking and looking at her. And after she picked one dress, and it's never the cheapest, sometimes it's the most expensive, And sometimes is the dress that she thinks that give her more value for the money that she's paying, right? And that have nothing to do with the cheapest. I mean, the cheapest, we always go to the cheapest store and we get out that one very quickly. You know what I mean? She just go
Yep.
and see and out, yeah. And then the other stores more slowly she's evaluating things. And this is how we buy things. This
Yep.
is how you buy your car. This is how you buy your TV. This is how you buy your watch. This is how you buy your mobile phone. Look at the mobile phones. Everybody have the iPhones
Yep.
and the Samsung cost over $1,000. And the Chinese phone you can buy for 100 quid that can do the same thing. Why everybody's paying 10 times more? Yeah, look at the Rolls Royce, look at the cars. Why everybody's paying 10 times more? That's something that is not even worth, it's not 10 times better. Yeah, look the luxury brands. And this is because this is how we buy things. We buy
Yep.
things, most of us, most of the population. I mean, there are certain part of the population, 20%, 50%, that will buy things on price because they don't have any more money. But however, the things that you buy on price, I think that are not important to you. You know, if shoes are not important to you, you will buy cheapest shoes. If the computer is not important to you, you will buy a cheap computer. Now, if for any reason this painting that you have behind, you told me that you adjusted to the right color and it's giving you very nice images. Well, you want the highest high quality TV in the market and you don't care how much it costs. You're looking for the best. Yeah. And
Yep.
I know that because when my mom got sick, the true story, my mom got sick, and I remember that I was looking for the best doctor in the world, and I was not even asking how much he charged. It was not relevant for me. It doesn't matter. The guy said 1 million. I want to cure my mom, and whatever money, I didn't even care. I was looking actively. Who is the best in this planet that know about this? Where he live? I'm taking a plane. I'm taking my mom there, and whatever he charged, I will find out when I arrive there. I don't
Yep.
care about the number. Whatever he said, I will pay. Yeah.
Yep.
So when something is important to you, money is not relevant anymore. But you do need the expert. You need the right person, right? And this is
Yes.
how we buy things when things are
Yes.
important to us, right, Keith? So
Yes.
tell us a little bit why, if this maybe makes sense what we're talking about, why everybody they start a business. Maybe that's the reason why they don't go in 10x in the first place, because the
Right.
price sucks, right?
Right. Well, so let's go back to something you said earlier that again hits this nail right on the head. You were talking about my book and you said you're the only person who can write this book. It's a unique book. That's how you create value. You create something that's unique in the marketplace. And your girlfriend finds a dress that works for her because she's unique. The dress is unique. She wants that. The price has nothing to do with any of that discussion.
Absolutely.
The same thing with your mother, right? Your mother's unique. She's the most precious thing in the world to you, and there's somebody who can help her. Price doesn't come into it. That's not what you're thinking about. And this is really true for anything that we buy, or back to the idea of investing in it. You invest in it because somebody can give you something that you can't get anywhere else. And for entrepreneurs, this is a piece of advice. This gets you back to the pricing discussion, right? If you're creating unique value, if you offer your clients something that no one else can offer them, they will pay you more for that because it's valuable to them. I mean, it's not just, unique. It's something that they care about. If you can find a better way to help them get what they want in their lives, in their businesses, and nobody else can do what you're doing because you're unique in this, they will pay for it. And that's how you, to me, that's how you build a business. It's also how you build trust, because trust is a piece of this. You can't just make claims for something. You have to deliver.
Absolutely.
And when you do this and you get the reputation in the marketplace of delivering on these whatever you're offering, then people will pay a premium, and you should charge a premium. There's no reason not to charge a premium, right? And here's the other piece of this, Harry, that is really an intriguing thing about human psychology. people value something more if they pay more for it, right? So it's this, even if you didn't have a unique product, if it was a commodity, if you had a carrot or a banana and you said,
Yeah.
this is the ultimate carrot and it's from my backyard.
If important for you, you will buy the most expensive one.
That's exactly right. And so pricing is one of these things. The other thing about pricing that is so critical for entrepreneurs to understand, this is my opinion, is that price is simply an understanding between the buyer and the seller. Price is, there is no actual price. There is the buyer and the seller essentially coming to an understanding about something, about value. And if you focus on that rather than saying, oh, I'm selling this widget or this service or whatever it is and it's X dollars, if you focus on this essentially discussion between you and your client, what does the client need? How can you uniquely provide that? And then you set a price. The client says, that sounds great. Sign me up because it's worth it. And that's also part of this whole thing with the pricing for my book. I'm making some big promises here, right? I'm saying I can help you make the impossible.
You're saying
easy.
I'm serious. You're saying
that's right.
I'm serious.
I'm real
when
serious.
I'm opening here, I'm deeply serious. And whoever buys this book, I'm taking you seriously. And this is reflecting the price. Look, I learned this in the hard way. I have, when I started my first business, it came the credit crunch. Yeah. And I was operating, I remember we have a large amount of rooms back then. And let's suppose that the rooms were about, let's say it's 500 pounds. Yeah. And maybe I have 100 of them. Yeah. And then the credit crunch come. And I have this brilliant idea that said, well, because people now have less money and there is less job, let me put the rooms cheaper. Oh my God, what a disaster. I end up attracting because I put myself in a position that now out of the 100% of people that actually can buy a room, now my rooms are only good for 20% of the people.
Right.
People that don't care where they want to live.
Right.
That it's not important for them. So I reduce myself, and the hidden revenue, I can tell you, if a room is 500 pounds and then I put it for 350, multiply this by 100, multiply by this monthly, and the level of vacancy. So I learned this, what we're sharing today, in the hard way, and cost me hundreds of thousands of pounds, this lesson that we are discussing today. And I realized that the problem, it was not the price. The problem was the lack of ability to attract clients. And this problem, after I decrease the price, the problem is still there. I still have lack of ability or marketing or whatever to bring clients. So the problem didn't disappear when I decreased the price. Actually, what I did was increase the problem. The problem stressed the company, get less revenue. It was a total disaster. Yeah. So, and that's why sometimes you need a mentor, sometimes you need a coach, sometimes you tell, oh, wait, hold on. Increasing more. Paint them. Put a sheet there. Make them colorful and charge 100 more. That's what you have to do. Even in this, you know what I mean, Keith?
Yeah, but you're exhibiting a mindset that is also a really powerful mindset. You're talking about a disaster, something that you felt responsible for, right? And instead of letting that stop you, you've extracted all these lessons from it, right?
Yeah.
So you say you learn the hard way. There are some people that don't learn the hard way, right?
Exactly. They still keep doing it,
doing it, and they expect different results. And what you did was you said, okay, I don't want to feel that pain again. So What did I learn from that? What did it tell me? And it told you something about the market, which is very valuable. It told you a whole lot about pricing, which is incredibly valuable. So you come away from that actually in a better position, even though you lost money. I had one of my first.
That's why I love when you said the price of the book. I'm like, wow, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Because why not?
Why not? And I had an old mentor that once told me I never had any education I didn't have to pay for. And what he meant was the way life teaches you is by extracting something from you. You extract some value, right? Maybe it's price, maybe it's pain, maybe it's both. So this is all about you and I are coming from the same place. We like to grow. Growth is what it's all about. If you're not growing, you're dying, and you get to choose. You get to choose which one it's going to be. And both of us focus very heavily on the idea of growing. And when we one of the breakthroughs I teach in my book is called remastering the past, right? So we all know in the music business, a band will make a great album and it's terrific, and then 20 years later they want to re-release it and they remaster it. They go back into the studio. They don't re-record it. They just tweak some stuff that they did initially, right? Well, we do the same thing, or can do the same thing, in our brains. What happens to us isn't what matters. What matters is what we think about it, how we interpret the meaning, how we assign the meaning. And we can go back in our past and look at something that was a painful experience and remaster it and say, you know what? This is really worth something to me. This is really the way to go. Excuse me, my phone just went nuts. I should have turned it off. That's an empowering lesson. You remaster your past in a very, very useful way. And you can draw on that now. So now this thing that cost you is now paying dividends. And I love that. That's a great piece of work right there.
And in the end of the day, you see as an investment, because you say, wow, 10,000. But really, if you have a business and you 10x the results, how much this is worth to you? Are you with me? So this is the question, and people don't understand. Look, Keith, in this very podcast, true story, one of the guys that I interviewed, he's someone that have more than 40 exits in different industries, all sold this company for £1 million, all of them, And then he told me in this very podcast, Harry, I'm in real estate now. I didn't have any clue of real estate, of anything, but now in real estate, and in the last 2 years, I'm now a real estate millionaire. I didn't have any clue. And I said, man, but how you did it? And the guy told me, look, Harry, easy. He lives in Colorado. He said, I went to Colorado and I pay who's the guy that knows more about property real estate investment in this town. And he told me I paid him a lot of money. And the guy taught me everything about investing in real estate. And then after 2 years, I'm now a multi-millionaire making a lot of money about, the real estate. And I'm thinking like, wow, someone that have more than 40 exits in different industries, all over $1 million, you can agree that is someone that have a deep understanding about business.
Yep.
But and a very deep understanding about business. Yet he said, no way. I pay a lot of money. He told me I was not looking for the cheapest. I find who is the person who knows more about real estate here. And he told me it was very expensive. I paid him a bunch of money. But you know what? The guy told me how to do it. And now I have a multi-million pound portfolio property in 2 years. So wealthy people, successful people understand, or a wealthy and successful mindset, let's talk about, understand that if you have a mentor, if you have a coach, you can achieve that goal. And the most successful people I know, they have coaches, they have mentors, they have people guide them on the way. When on the other side, you have other people that said, okay, you know what? I don't need any coach. I don't want any mentor. I want to figure out everything by myself, by trial and error. And this is painful. This is expensive. This is way too expensive because I've done it. What I'm telling you is I've done it myself. No, something I read in the book. And so I know how expensive it is, and why successful and wealthy people, they all seeking constantly mentoring, mentors, coaches, to help them achieve their goals. Either if it's a business goal, it could be a fitness goal, any goal that they want. And then we have more the other side of the spectrum of the entrepreneur suffering, working so many hours. They're tired, they are angry, they are exhausted, they don't see any way out, they don't have time to speak with their family, with their friends, and all this negative baggage can, the emotional pain can become a physical pain. They can end up with cancer, with a heart attack, with this and that. And somebody else in this podcast asked me the other day, he told me, Harry, let me ask you a question. What is the fastest way between point A and B? And I told the guy, man, the straight line, this is the fastest way, you go there. And he told me, Harry, no, it's the path with less resistance. Think about the river, yeah? And that was very profound what he shared with me, because looking back, when you have a coach, when you have a mentor, you are allowing yourself to go to a path with less resistance, which is not going to be that straight line between A to B, but it's somebody that will guide you. So what message do you have, kids, for these entrepreneurs out there that they don't take coaching and mentorship seriously, and they say, you know what, I will figure out, because they say, no, I don't have money. Everybody have money and everybody can find money, you know?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
say, well, you know what? I don't have money and I'm going to do it by myself. And I don't need a mentor. I don't need a coach. Despite that, all gold medalists in all this planet, when they reach the gold medal, the first thing that they say is thanks to my coach. Yeah. So what do you think is the problem? Why is this mindset? And why unsuccessful people have so much negative connotation with coaching and mentoring, and whether the successful people, they're embracing and they don't care how much they're gonna pay. And I'm sure this guy see your book or whatever, the 10K, he will pay. So why do you see that this happening?
Well, so again, one of the things you've touched on is entrepreneurs are different. They have a special mindset, and part of that is they have an ego, right? And
Absolutely.
they have a strong ego,
and
that's a good thing. But you don't want to let that ruin your chances. So I have an ego. Surprise, surprise. Ask my wife. I definitely have an ego. But I learned a long time ago that there are people in this world who are smarter than I am. You know, you let that sink in, right? They actually know way more than I know, and they know it about things that would really be valuable to me. Now, I can try to do what they did and try to learn all that stuff on my own, or I can go to school, however you define school. I can become more capable myself by standing on their shoulders. And we've done this our whole lives. We've all been to school. We know what nobody, probably nobody listening to this wrote a history book, but they all took history classes. They probably didn't write a math book. They all took math classes, right? We've gone to school for a reason, because there are people who can teach us things that we need to know. Now, school, the way most of us think of it, is what was imposed upon us, right? We had to go to school for X number of years, whether we wanted to or not. We got out of school. It's all up to us. I'm what I think of as a lifelong learner. I can tell you are too. I want to learn my whole life. That's how I grow. So I find people who know more than I do. There are lots and lots of them out there. And then I pay them what they ask to teach me what they know. And it's the best investment I can make, because it's an investment.
This is the blueprint of success.
It is. That's the bingo. That's the blueprint. That's the mindset that people have. I'm investing in myself. If I can get myself to be more capable, then I have all these other things that I can do because I've become more capable. So coaching is a good example of that. There's another little wrinkle to this that I'm going to throw in there for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs become very protective of their business. And the first thing they'll say is, yeah, but that won't work in my business. I bet you've heard that before, right? That won't work in my business.
Thousand times. My business is different. Oh, it's not.
My business is different. And I never try to fight anybody on that. I always say, of course it's different. It's your business. It's unique. But there's a whole strata of things that are exactly the same from this business to this business to this business. And that's where coaching comes in. If I have a coach, or if I'm coaching somebody, I'm in a client relationship, and they are in the financial services world, and I don't know how to run that business, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them how to take their own capabilities and grow them to harness this 10x superpower that we were talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm not teaching them a thing about their business. I'm teaching them how to think differently, how to think about their thinking, and how to adapt their mindset, I should say, to something that will help them grow to the point that they're achieving impossible goals. That's what I do. I'm not teaching them about their business. So once you get through that your business is unique, and you say, yep, I agree with you, it's unique now, has nothing to do with our conversation.
Exactly.
Right?
And then
what our conversation is how to give you greater capabilities so you can take your unique business to a level that you didn't even dream was possible.
I'm glad, Kid, that you touch about this point of ego, yeah, because maybe it's that ego is maybe no, it's that ego that don't open the door for them to grow, right? And I think them not hiring Keith as a mentor because they're thinking, wow, this guy is gonna come to my business, he's smarter than me, he's gonna tell me what to do, he's gonna tell all my employees what to do, and I don't want that. And the thing is that the entrepreneur need to understand is that Keith is not more smarter than you. Kid only specializes, and he's really, really good in one thing only, which is help you to 10x. Whatever you have. And in that bit, in only that bit, he is smarter than you. He has more experience, and this is what he's going there to help you. But he's not going to take over your company. He's not gonna give you tell you anything that that he's more smart and this and that. He's not gonna outshine you. He's going there to guide you. Yeah. But
That's
also, other people also they sometimes, I'm telling you, because I have a restaurant once and I lost 200,000 pounds. It was a totally big disaster as well. And the people, the mom of my girlfriend back then, she was an entrepreneur. And in the month that I opened the restaurant, the woman came in, saw the restaurant, and told me, Harry, close it. This thing doesn't work. And I'm like, said, this is my baby. How come it's not going to work? And every time she went to a restaurant and closed it, and guess what? After 2 years, I had to close the restaurant and lost 200,000 pounds, and my girlfriend at the time leave me because the mom told me, this is a loser, leave him. You know what I mean? So sometimes we need someone with experience that tell us, look, in this business, having this product in the form that you have it now is going to be huge challenge to 10x this. We have to pivot it. We have to add more services. We have to become creative. Yeah. And entrepreneurs, they are, when they don't have experience, like me, I'm thinking, when I had this restaurant, I have a hair back then, so you might have how many years for that. And I was not listening what wasn't real true that somebody with experience was telling me. And I took a big hit and I lost a lot of money and a lot of things because of that. I was very hard to go back up again. Sometimes, entrepreneurs, sometimes they need to know from someone that is enough qualified for it when things are not working in the form that they are and they need a pivot. That doesn't mean that kid is more smart than anyone. That doesn't mean that kid is just guiding you to achieve the impossible possible.
Yeah,
which is the next.
And what I tell people is I'm either the kind of coach you like or you hate, because I don't have the answers. I have the questions. So my role in this whole relationship
It's a
is to ask
facilitator.
you the right questions in the right way and teach you how to ask them yourself, because it's really about you asking yourself questions. That's what a magic question is. It's a question you ask yourself in a certain way. And if I'm doing my job, then you're asking yourself the right questions. So you're asking yourself questions that will help you do the 10x, help you achieve the impossible goal. That's my role in this whole thing.
Absolutely, because we have to enroll the entrepreneur into the process. Because if we go as a coach and tell them what to do, I'm telling you, they're not gonna do it. They're gonna do
Right.
the opposite.
Right.
Straight
Right.
away,
Well, they also think that when people talk about 10x, first reaction I get, the biggest pushback I get is I can't do that. I just can't work any harder than I am. And my point is, and this is what really blows people's minds. I said, if you really understand what I'm saying by 10x and you really commit to it, it's actually easier than what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
And you got to just shut up and listen at that point and let them process that, because what you're telling them is you actually can have more of a life than you have now, not less of a life. You have to get 10x, you have to do less than you're doing now.
I agree.
And that's
100%.
hard for people. That's hard for people to get.
They have to focus in what they in what they know. I have so Keith, tell us if people are loving this conversation, if they want to know more, if they want to buy your book for 10,000 and they want to know more about what you do, how people can find you and how this process works.
So the easiest thing to do is you could visit me in a couple of places. The first place is keithellis.com, myname.com. The other place is, we've been talking about 10x Superpower, so you can go to 10xsuperpower.com, 10x superpower.com. What you'll see there is there's a little text that sort of explains it. It's what I call a 10x readiness quiz. And what it does is it says, are you ready to 10x? Because not everybody is. This is
100. I agree 100%.
We get
You
it.
don't
We
have
get
your
it.
mindset there.
It's not going to do you any good or me any good if you're not ready, right? So it asks you some questions about whether you're ready. It's not about money. It's not about me. It's about you. And then if you answer the questions in a certain way, and you're qualified, then you are invited to book what I call a discovery call. It's actually a coaching call. It's a half an hour coaching call. I charge $10,000 an hour for coaching. This is a half an hour free, but it's meant to do one thing and one thing only. Well, it's two things, because it's meant to give the client something, even if they choose not to work with me. I want them to have something of value that they can take away, at least $5,000 worth of value. But what it really does, from my point of view, is it lets the client decide: do I want to work with this guy? Do I trust him? Do I want him to be my coach? It lets the client decide that, and it lets me decide. And you'll get this, I know. It lets me decide: do I want to work with this client?
Mm-hmm.
Because life is way too short to work with people you don't want to work with.
Absolutely, 100%.
There's not enough money in the world to make that worthwhile. So we get a half an hour of actual coaching, and then we get to decide whether we proceed or not. And if either one of us says no, then it's no. And nobody's wasted time, because they got something of value, and I got a chance to meet an interesting human being, which is half the value of life, right? So
thank you so much, Keith, for this broadcast. I think that we touched something really powerful today, which was about pricing, and this is a very, very common element that we see out there. Yep. into the entrepreneurs. And I think that what uniqueness and your approach, if the people are ready to 10x, if they're ready to actually go seriously into this, yeah, they have to be committed, because your time, there is no value for your lifetime experience in business. there is no price to pay that. Like I told you, even lesson that I told you about price, because it cost me hundreds of thousands of pounds to learn. Yeah.
Yep.
It was not about opening a book. Yeah.
Yep.
It was real have money. So, and then look at me, when I'm losing money, it's when I'm paying attention. I'm reading everything and learning everything about it, because I'm like, wow, this thing didn't work. I'm losing a lot of money. So that's why we can talk a lot about this topic, because I have read a lot, because I took a big hit because of this.
Yep.
Yeah. So learning is power, and honestly, what I really think is that if people want to become wealthy, look, those multimillionaires that with the interview in this podcast, actually the previous interview, the guy make millions, lost it, made millions, lost it again. And I'm sure that if you put him out there with no money, in a year he's gonna make million again, because it's what he knows. He has a knowledge inside. He said that it doesn't matter whatever circumstance or external factors in business can wipe out everything. He knows something. He has a particular knowledge that he knows how to go create wealth and build them into a multi-million pound business again. So if you're not successful, if you're not growing your business 10x, it's because there is something that you don't know that you have to learn. So thank you so much, Keith.
Thank you, Harry.
Powerful. Really nice to meet you. And for all of you following the podcast, see you in our next podcast of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneurs like Keith break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Great. Thanks, Harry. Bye.
Pleasure.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.